Good morning, guys. It is yarn crafting day, and we are live on Facebook and taping for YouTube today as well, so you'll see different versions depending on where you decide to watch this. The table is filled today. Oh, hold on. You all right, Nibs? All right, table is filled today with yarn fluff. Let me show YouTube real quick. Lots and lots of yarn fluff and stuff. To give you guys ideas of things to do for this upcoming week. Again, a lot of the patterns and stuff that you will see are free. There are stitch alongs across Facebook, across Ravelry, so there's lots of different resources to find things that you're interested in. If you are new, a simple project like a cotton face round is a really cool and awesome thing to start with. It also makes a wonderful Mother's Day gift for friends and family. You could make some scented bath salts and make a little gift set for your sister, your mom, grandma, whoever. And it is just a quick little magic circle in the middle, a round, and then another round. And then if you want, you can put scrubby stuff on the outside. I do have scrubby ones that we sell as well. But these are great for removing makeup, for washing your face, whatever. If you can actually make this to wash dishes with as well. You make bigger washcloth versions, but please use 100% cotton yarn for these if you're using them on your face or body, okay? I need a basket to put all this stuff as we go through it. Next up, again, this is a beginner project. This is really great though. Storage cubbies. Again, it starts with the same concept, right? You have your magic circle in the middle, and then you just slowly decrease out. Bulky yarn, medium weight yarn, okay? Also, if you want to make a really awesome bigger basket, this is specialty yarn. This is the big, like, outdoorsy yarn. The special Bernat yarn. Hold on. They stopped making this, but if you can get it, it's a little expensive, but it comes up with some really, really cool projects, and I really enjoy using these. So, again, very beginner project. Need a large hook and some yarn. You could make something awesome and simple. Add a few little handles, and you have your own display for napkins or tissues on your table. Another cool thing that you can do is Easter baskets. I made these mini ones last year. Again, it just starts with your simple circle and works up to a little handle. And there are free patterns like everywhere for these. This is a tiny one, but you can make a bigger one. And I like this because it reminded me of the Easter grass. And this is just that scrubby yarn that we talked about. Speaking of, aha! Scrubby with the face scrubby on the outside. Okay. What else? Seasonal. I had the pumpkins on the display shelf, but these start out as balls before you flatten them. So if you don't put in the side seams in the stem, you can make giant puff balls to play with, or you can make eggs. It's almost Easter. You can make eggs. Again, with a big hook and bulky yarn, super fun. You can make bookmarks. These are super easy to tie with yarn, but this is what I had in my fabric stash. So you can make bookmarks really easy too with yarn. If you have leftover fabric, you can cut up and make a pot holder. Again, this is upcycled cotton. This is old khaki pants. Fantastic gift. Yours would probably be more colorful or blue. You can use blue jeans, cut them up, stitch the ends. They have a little hanger. And then crochet it up. Again, this is just that quick magic circle and some rounds. Very big hook, very bulky, wide strip fabric. If you have roving, if you're lucky enough to have roving, you can make your very own Easter wreath, right? Put on some hooks, hot glue up some bunnies on this bad boy. There's a lot that you can do. But what we discussed yesterday specifically was garland. I have this heart one up in my room because I love it. It's bright and it's shiny, and if you have a few different colors, and these are just this very simple heart pattern super simple for a beginner. It's about 3 different stitches. It's your magic circle in the middle. Okay, let me show both cameras. And then the heart is just a single, a double, and a triple. And then it goes around in a pattern. This is free. You can look this up. I want to think this might be Yarnspirations pattern, but you can go on Pinterest or Google yarn crochet heart, and you'll come up with tons of patterns for that. The chain itself is just a simple stitch. But what we talked about was making puffs. And you'll need a fork. You'll need a fork, okay? These are super easy to do. No matter what kind of yarn you have, you can even make this out of plarn if you wanted to. Let me grab a quick one from the stash, the white one from yesterday. If you don't know how to make these, you're about to learn. I really like making puff balls. Depending on what size you want to make, this is going to be for bigger puff balls. Salad fork is going to be for tiny puff balls. Your regular eating fork is going to be for your basically regular puff balls. And what you're going to do is you're going to put, this is going to be your center thread pull. So you want that down the center one. And the ones that have only 3 prongs, just, put it on one side or the other. You'll be fine. Take your end, and you're going to wrap it around a ton. But make sure that center thread stays free. That's super important, okay? Make sure that center thread, I'm holding it, stays free. You're going to wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. And depending on how thick you want it is going to depend on how many times you want to wrap it. I usually wrap a bunch because I like really nice, happy, thick puff balls. They make me joyful. So unwrap and then wrap it up. And as you can imagine, what we're doing is we're just building the size and the width of that puff ball. I like to keep those center threads long. As you can see, those are really long. You're going to have to trim them. That's okay. Better too long than too short. You never want that. That's a bad juju. Wind it up. And this is nice because it takes a few moments. It's nice to meditate, relax, ponder what other color you're going to do next. A great craft for the kids. Fantastic craft for the kids. Because even if they're not good at cutting or tying, just have them do the wrapping. Have them do the wrapping. And you don't have to do the whole fork because really you're trying to build up the bulk. Because this is going to be literally the size of your puff ball. So if you just want to keep it, that's why the small solid forks work as well, because they have that ability to just bulk it up. Okay, so let's leave it there. I'm going to cut this long. That way I know where my ends are. I'm going to put, can you see that? Yeah, okay, you see that. All right, I'm going to take one side. I'm going to bring it all the way around. This is another reason I do it really long. Okay, I bring it all the way around so I can set it down instead of having to wrestle with it. Sorry you can't see YouTube. Give me a second. And I'm going to tie it really, really tight. Not tight enough to break it. Don't break that string. Don't break that string. Okay, so I have it tied. And I'm going to trim these strings a little bit. And I'm going to slide it off the fork. Dun, da, da, da. Now, you can retighten your center, okay? If for whatever reason your center string breaks, here is your opportunity to save it. Remember those 2 ends that we left long? You can take them and retighten it if you need to, okay? So this is really good just in case. You never know when you're going to need that little trick. Just take it and tighten it up. It doesn't have to be super tight. Everyone's like, do I have to? No, it doesn't have to be super duper duper tight, which is perfect because this is like a craft you can't really mess up, right? And then you want to stick your scissors in and just cut. Ta-da! And there's a few loops left in the middle. That's okay. Stick your scissors in and cut. Just remember, don't cut that center thread. Please don't cut that center thread. And then flip it over and do the same thing. Now there are pom-pom makers out there on the market, and they're great. They're great. But it does the exact same thing. It gives you a poof. And now all you have to do is shape it and trim it up. Okay, you can use multiple colors when you wrap it, create really cool things. There are actually patterns for you to make different floral arrangements, different birds. Some people make birds and animals out of it. And you just make a ton, get a string, and tie them on. And you have an awesome yo-yo garland. Simple, quick, easy, takes up some time. And you can have some great St. Patrick's Day decorations. Make them in green and gold, whatever you want. If you are a beginner, I highly recommend that you learn the magic circle trick. It's not a difficult trick, but sometimes our brains make things like super hard. But I learned a new trick, and I'm trying to see because she has a really good demonstration on how to do it. If I can find the demonstration on how to do it. Ah, here we go. Okay. So this is from Super Easy Immigarini. I got this from the Harford County Public Library, the Bel Air branch. And they have a trick on here for making a slip knot for the central loop, which is essentially a smaller magic circle. So let me take a string and a hook, and I'm going to show you both ways of doing it. So for the magic circle, everybody knows, put the bottom on the bottom of your hand. You make a X on the bottom, 2 lines on the top. See that, YouTube? And you're going to take your hook, pull it through, and twist. The key is the twist. Always twist, because if you don't twist, you don't have a magic circle. Make sense? Slide it off. Create your first loop. Now this one only, this magic circle only has 1 loop, okay? As opposed to the one I'm about to show you that has 2. All right, and you pull on this end, and ta-da! It tightens. That is your magic circle. It takes some practice. Please don't be hard on yourself, okay? The slip knot method uses 1 finger, and you do the same kind of thing. All right, you wrap it around 1, 2, 3 times. String hangs on the end. You're going to take your hook, put it through 2 of them, and grab that 3rd and pull it through just like you did with the other one. You don't need to twist because you make it. Did you catch any of that, YouTube? You probably didn't catch any of that, YouTube. I'll redo that, okay? I'll do it again. So we have 3. Let's see if I can hit both. 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Got it? My hook goes under the first 2. It's just easier for me to slip it on the inside. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm going to grab that, pull it through, and I don't need to twist because I'm going to make my loop. Now, why is this better for smaller things? Because it makes a much tighter circle, okay? You would do your crochet stitches typically 6 to 8, depending on how small your piece is going to be, and you're going to tug on your loop, and it only tightens 1 loop. So you have to find which loop that is and pull the other loop tight. But this is fantastic if you're doing animals, anything small, playable with, because it makes a much tighter, more secure knot, okay? And they just call this a slip knot for a central loop. But it's a cool trick that I hadn't seen for years and years, and it's great. It's great. So you can find free patterns all over the place. This is one of my favorites lately. This is where the giant whale pattern started. Have you seen the giant whale? Let me grab him. He's over here. Oh, I haven't named him or her yet either, but this is the giant whale. I made this. I was like, I'm gonna make a giant whale, so I did. It is crochet fins. Hi friends. Tail. It's got a foam center. Also, there's cardboard to keep the shape. You can hear it. Cardboard to keep the shape for the face. Everything else is rolled paper for the very center of the front here because I wanted to keep that firm, and then everything else is soft, squishy foam. So fantastic pillow. I'm hoping to find him a home at some point, but for now she lives with us. So yeah, you can make all sorts of really, really awesome things with yarn. Someone had sent me a question about doing fabric instead of plarn, and I wanted to answer that because plarn, of course, you do the big loop. Fabric is a little bit different, okay? And I wanted to show you quickly. It's not hard, and it's easier to use a rotary cutter, but I'm just going to make two quick little strips so I can give you an idea. And you can do this with t-shirts. Again, this doesn't have to be cotton. This can be any, I mean, I probably wouldn't use like satin, like nothing too slippery, but this you can absolutely use anything for. Some people do take the time to actually sew the ends together so that you have more of a streamline yarn kind of thing, but there is a trick if you put some loops, and it's the exact same concept of the plarn. You're putting one side through and you're going to pull it through the loop. Now again, if you're making baskets, this is fine. You don't have to worry about your knots because it's not really going to show up in your baskets. But if you're making something a little nicer, you may want to consider stitching. But this really isn't that big of a knot when you're talking about like bulk for yarn. So again, 2 strips. We did quick little holes, just very small, not too big holes, and slipped it through just like the plarn. So if you have some old t-shirts, you want to make a bag, perfect. Plarn. We talked about using plarn. Let me get a bigger hook. I just have a bag of hooks. That's how I store my hooks. I also wanted to show. Oh well, I'll wait to show you the needles. But you can, if you don't want to do a slip knot, you can literally just twist it and then pick up a loop. And now you're ready to do. If you want to do a straight stitch, that's great. If you want to do your magic circle, you do the same exact deal. Don't run away. Forget how light this yarn is. The plarn. I forget how light this plarn is. So now you have a magic circle. I'm gonna do 2 because I am going to do a quick double stitch. Now, one thing I will say, plarn will dry your hands out because you're playing with plastic. Watch your tension. It definitely has a different type of tension than regular yarn. So just be aware, especially if you're a beginner and you're like, this is not how this works on my knitting needles. It is a different type of yarn, just like if you were using silk or bamboo. Same deal. Ah! I'm losing my plarn. Roly-poly plarn. Now again, I only did a few bags, so I'm really not going to have too much to work with. But 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll do 6. Hi Nene, welcome home. And I am being cautious of my knotted pieces and trying not to work around them with the stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 stitches. I'm going to pull my circle tight. Gently pull my circle tight. And you don't want to knot in your circle. Just pointing that out. You don't want to knot in the center of your magic loop in the circle. I'm going to connect it. And there is your first plarn loop. Again, if you're making a mat, just go long and then turn and then keep making your straight ones. But this is same deal. Just be careful of the tension, because if you pull the plastic, it's going to stretch. And again, just be careful of where your knots are. So super easy to use your plarn. Same deal with the fabric. Loop it around. And this is going to be much more fun to work with. Much more fun. Because it's just so soft. Of course, this is my flannel strips. And you get different really unique looks depending on what kind of materials you use. I was hoping to actually make paper yarn, but we don't get newspapers, and I couldn't find anyone around that had one that would give it to me. But you can actually make paper yarn out of newspaper. I would say that's an intermediate skill, but if you're willing to try it, try it. The other thing I wanted to talk about, the templates we made yesterday. Kids templates. So, of course, I have needles, because I do. Blunt, very blunt tipped needles. Not sharp at all. I have different sizes, and you can order these online. Don't order the plastic. Don't order the plastic. This is a pain in the butt. It's really great if you're doing rug hooking or like large plastic canvas for small children, but every time this part at the top splits. Every time. And it won't hold the yarn. Once it's busted, it's busted. The metal ones really aren't that much more expensive. They're not. So you can get, and this is a tapestry one, a little bent. But take one of these, put some yarn on it, and let the kids have fun. It's blunt, so you're not going to lose an eye. Nobody's going to stab themselves with it. But again, we made these yesterday with the cardboard. Very simple. I just poked holes in one of the recycled cardboard things, and then I sketched something out so that the kids could paint it or color it when they were done stitching their little 4-leaf clover. And you can do that with anything. So take a bigger piece, make your own design, draw the state, draw an Oriole, draw your favorite sports team, write your last name, and then you can stitch it up. I would say if you're going to paint or color it first, and then stitch it up, obviously, after everything is dried. But there's a lot of fantastic things you can do, and you don't have to use wood. It will still look awesome, even though it's cardboard. You don't have to tell anyone it's cardboard. You don't have to. What else? What else did I say we would go over? I think that might be it. Oh, weaving. I wanted to talk about weaving. I love weaving. If you have a pot holder thing, you can do all sorts of things with just a pot holder thing. If you do not have a pot holder thing, if you have wood and nails, you can create your own very simply. It's going to probably take you more time to measure the wood and nail in the nails than to actually come up with really creative ideas. You make a triangle one, a giant triangle one, and make a shawl. People do that. There's all sorts of tutorials on YouTube for that. But I hope this gave you some ideas of fun things to do with yarn. Oh, that's what I was missing. Where did I put that? I had too much stuff. Hold on just a second. I don't know what I did with my actual rock, but you can wrap things in yarn. I know it sounds crazy, but people had pet rocks, so just go with it. Grab some rocks outside, nature hike, grab some rocks, and you can just paint the rock in glue and have the kids take different colors of yarn and just wrap it around it and make their own pet rocks. You don't have anything in yarn. You could take your cardboard, cut out a bunny shape, and then wrap your bunny shape in white yarn, get it a pink fluffy nose, make your tassel tail, do something cool with the ears, paint them gold or whatever, and you've made your own bunny decoration for Easter. Yay! The kids would love doing that. Kids would love doing that. So again, if you don't have plastic canvas, that's okay. If you have recyclable cardboard, that's awesome. Again, the more dense stuff is going to be better for any project you're poking holes in. Okay, you can use, I think I put that away, you can use the thicker cardboard for all sorts of wonderful projects. You can still use that for stuff you're going to poke holes in, but it's not going to be as stiff as the thinner, denser stuff. So just be aware of changes or modifications that you may have to make. You can glue two pieces of the thicker cardboard together. That would be even better. You can glue several layers, make a bigger bunny to wrap in yarn. That would be super cool. But again, you have options depending on what you have at home. So be creative. Find some great patterns on the internet. Again, Ravelry.com. YouTube has a bajillion different videos, including this one that's going up soon. But we hope that this inspired you for something to do this week. Maybe gifts for friends and family. You know, you could stitch up a card to send, stitch up a little heart, drop it in the mail to somebody. In our group, we're doing artist trading cards. So you could create a mosaic artist trading card with yarn. You could redo Monet. There's lots of different things that you can do with simple things that you have around the house, including forks. So thank you very much for everyone that popped in today. I appreciate you stopping by. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay healthy. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks, YouTube.